Welcome. You have found your way into the first video of a playlist called Ethics and Artificial Intelligence, a Survey. So, in another playlist, I did my best to defend this definition of ethics, this way to think about ethics as a concern with human well-being. I'm not going to rehash that now, except to say that there's another playlist where I describe that. Specifically, what we end up with is thinking about different values. These are things that across time and cultures, people kind of agree really constitute human well-being. This would be happiness, autonomy, equality, trust, and virtue. Again, if you're curious about why we ended up with that list of 5 and not a shorter list or a longer list or a different list, you can feel free to look up that other playlist. One advantage of defining ethics this way is that there's a very easy way to define any area of applied ethics, including the ethics of artificial intelligence, which we're wondering about now. You just have to say, AI ethics. If ethics is a concern with human well-being, then AI ethics is a concern with how artificially intelligent systems affect human well-being. Okay? So what we can do with our knowledge of AI on the one hand and our knowledge of ethics on the other hand are two really important things. One is we can think about all the different ways that AI affects one or more of those 5 values, like the different kinds of technologies that could affect happiness, autonomy, equality, trust, or virtue. If we have identified one, once we have one, we say, okay, well, there's this technology, and this could affect people's happiness, or this could affect people's trust in society or trust in institutions. Now we're doing AI ethics. The other really important thing we can do with this list is use it as a basis for case studies. Okay, so we've got a particular technology, we've got a particular situation, we know that there's something we know somehow there's ethical implications here, but how do we actually think through it and arrive at a conclusion? Well, these 5 values are a big part of the story, because what we can do is use them to guide and ground our way to think through the different topics and to point us to, okay, so here's what should happen. But in this playlist, we're not doing the case studies. That's a different playlist. In this playlist, we're focusing on a survey. Okay? A survey is a particular kind of pedagogical moment. There are several kinds of important pedagogical moments. For example, analysis. Analysis is when you're kind of breaking things down into pieces in order to understand the parts better. There's also moments of synthesis that are really important. Synthesis is where you take those different parts and kind of put them into a whole and try to understand the whole. Then there's what we're doing now, a survey. Okay? A survey is, again, an important pedagogical moment, but a chance to step back and look at all the different ways, systematically, that ethics could be implicated by AI. Like, how do we give some meaning and logic to all those many different examples? If we can do that, if we can understand the survey, the broad landscape, that would be a success for this playlist. And again, I mentioned this other playlist about ethics a few times now, and it exists. And again, if you're curious about the definition of ethics or why we're focusing on those 5 values, it would be great to start there. But if you feel like you're okay with trusting me that stuff is more or less in line, then you can just dive right into the more AI direct material. All right, so ethics and artificial intelligence, a survey. Let's get going.